Hello and welcome. My name is Tom. If you've been following for the last week or so, I've been loading some small shorts, just showing and explaining what I've been doing every day working towards CGI content. Today in this video, I just want to explain why I've made my channel, what I would like to achieve with it, and what I'd like to do going forward. And the main reason for making this channel is because I essentially couldn't find what I wanted. I knew I wanted to go into some form of effects or special effects. I'd been playing around with things like Blender and other software for a few years, and it kind of really wasn't what I wanted to do. It felt like the general region, but not exactly that. So I've searched, and essentially there was no kind of clear path that I could take. So I've found the closest thing possible, and I believe I've finally come across that, and that is with Rebel Way and Houdini as the software, and with their courses, I feel like I can piece together the kind of content that I want to make. As general tech continues to progress, I think it's very clear that with CGI, especially in film and TV, and now game design to the point where games are becoming hyper realistic, that you can create quite impressive content. So I think it would be helpful to kind of show some of the elements that I would like to do. So over the next 6 months, taking me towards the end of the year, there's two pieces that I'd like to work on. Essentially, very educational, very messy, very trying things, seeing how they look, and then hopefully producing something half decent to finish with. The first one is going to be this scene from Frieren. There's quite a lot of elements in terms of the energy blasts. We've got the defensive spells and these shards, and they can start off as a big wall and then shatter into smaller pieces and then fragments. There's dust, there's the actual landscape and lighting, and I feel this style of effect, especially with any anime style CGI, some form of spell casting, some form of energy beam, it forms the foundation for a lot of anime effects, and that if I can figure out how to do these two elements fairly well, that I should be able to branch out to other areas and have some form of foundation on how to do that. The second project I'd like to work on is essentially more something like this. So the Fourth Wing book, the third book trailer, was released, and while it's okay, I feel like it's just not that impressive. I feel like they could have done a much better job, but it's got some smoke and some lightning, but past that, it's essentially just font with some CGI background. There's not a huge amount to it, and I think looking at some fan art and playing around with some different effects, that something better could be produced. The book is out next year, and I'd like to try and do it by then. Try release it before the book comes out. Especially the smoke element, it's not too in depth, it's got some basic noise. But yeah, play around with that, get messy. This one I think will be more difficult because there's going to be a lot of coming up with things myself with some inspiration. Whereas the Frieren shots are going to be more copying to a degree of what already exists, however, playing around with different effects I know already from courses I've done previously, and trying to piece that together. And hopefully between the two of them I can produce two from here, some nice shots, a couple of seconds long, and then hopefully something better in terms of the trailer, and just make it a little bit more exciting. So what can you expect from me in the next couple of months? I'm going to try and do the daily vlogs, discuss what I'm doing. I would like to do breakdowns. Pre-video I will go through both these shots and what exactly I think I need to do and how I'm going to do them, and then I'm going to do a video breaking that down, and then hopefully film a lot of actually making it. Easier elements I'll go through fairly quick, but anything harder I might get scrappy first and then show some of the process. Rather than a video be hours long, I'll show clips of going from one thing to the next and things that I've learned along and what really helps. And then past that, kind of next year onwards, there's bigger and better shots I would like to do. The main limitation at the minute is honestly just practice and my general knowledge. I'm continually doing courses, continually trying to learn more and practice as much as I can. I'm doing some self projects like this where I can see where there's gaps in my knowledge. Is really going to help make better shots. And then there is a couple of compositing courses I'm doing next year and live action that I want to try and bring in. Essentially turning this more into a full live action shot and making things like Fern essentially an actual person with staff and really trying to tailor the two together. The main thing I can't show on my channel is obviously any paid content. Any content I show you will either be my own or is visible through free versions of accounts with websites, so that none of their paid content is being plagiarized at all. That's very serious and we don't want to get in trouble there. And I'll be trying to make things as insightful as possible, as authentic as possible. Editing a few clips together here and there, but for the most part I would like it to be mostly just raw footage, so you can see exactly what's happening and what's going on, and just hopefully the progression over time. The other main reason I would like to start this channel is to help other people. I would like to create something that goes from not much knowledge to fairly half decent, to then looking very impressive, to then professional work. And that no matter what part of your journey that you're on, you should be able to identify roughly in the timeline where you're at, and that if you would like to progress, you can see hopefully what I've done and explore that, or go off in a different direction, but somewhere that almost acts as a mini database. So if you're looking for resources, then they're there and available, and that you get a lot of insight. One of the main issues I've had is that I've grown up in a very academic environment. I have a master's degree, I know what university's like, and within this industry it just did not seem helpful. I looked at computer science, I looked at media, and they just seem to have a lot of fluff content that weren't what I wanted to do. Whereas there's several schools online that seem to mimic or seem to provide courses for what I would like to do. And that by piecing those together I can make the educational platform that I need. While Rebel Way is going to be the home for a lot of my learned content, there are still some things missing from that I'm going to be pulling from other areas, and I will be highlighting those areas if and when I use them. For example, this energy beam, I know probably about 70% on how to do, but not exactly, whereas I know there's a tutorial from a very low price course that essentially shows how to do this. So I'll be using things like that to fill in the gaps in my knowledge. If you have found this video helpful, if this is something you'd like to follow along for, currently I have 9 subscribers, and it might not seem like a lot, but if I imagine 9 people sit listening to me, it seems like a lot. So if you can please like, please comment, please subscribe. If I start producing projects and you are enjoying it, and you'd like to see other clips or things produced, then I would definitely be reading them and taking them into account, and be trying to tailor things towards what people would like to see to a certain degree, as well as my own interests. So yeah, please like and subscribe, and I hope you have a great day.